So, we all know the Force, right? It's this cosmic web that binds the entire galaxy together. It flows through pretty much everything. But what if something showed up that the Force just couldn't touch? What happens when a warrior, whose power is all his own, crashes into a reality that's completely defined by this outside energy? And boom, this is where it all kicks off. Imagine being Anakin Skywalker, the chosen one. He feels this disturbance, but it's not what he's used to. It's not a hole in the Force, it's something else entirely. Something there that's just alien. It's like a massive error code just slammed into the galaxy's operating system, and he's the first one to see the blue screen of death. And that right there, that's the whole ballgame. The Force is supposed to be this universal connector, right? It's in everything. But now you've got this being who is like a stone in a stream. The Force can flow around him, sure, but it can't get in. And when that happens, you have to start wondering, are the fundamental laws of this reality even real anymore?
Okay, so how in the world did this even happen? Well, it wasn't some grand invasion. It wasn't planned at all. No, this was just a 1 in a trillion freak cosmic accident.
You've got a separatist superweapon firing over here. At the exact same second, light years away in a totally different reality, Vegeta lets loose a full power ki blast. These two energies, they're just completely incompatible. They collide, and they literally rip a hole in the fabric of space-time. And just like that, the Prince of all Saiyans gets yanked through and finds himself smack dab in the middle of the Clone Wars.
And this really gets to the heart of what we're talking about. This isn't your average crossover, folks. It's something called an ontological displacement. Basically, a being whose very existence breaks the rules of physics and metaphysics of the Star Wars galaxy has just shown up. The two systems, they just don't work together. At all.
Which brings us to the real conflict here. See, the Force and Ki, they're not just two different flavors of space magic. No, they are fundamentally, philosophically opposed ways of looking at power. The big difference? It boils down to externalism versus internalism. Think of it this way. The Force is like tapping into the power grid. A Jedi borrows from it, they channel it, they have to be in harmony with it. But Ki, that's a generator you built inside yourself. It's biological, it's spiritual, and it's all yours. No one else can touch it. Yeah, this chart lays it all out perfectly. A Jedi is basically a conduit. They're a channel for this huge, almost infinite external resource. A Saiyan, on the other hand, is a sovereign. The power is theirs and theirs alone. But it's also finite. It runs out. And that fact alone creates a completely different mindset when it comes to a fight. And here's that stone in a stream idea again, because it's the perfect way to picture this. The Force is flowing through everything and everyone, but when it hits Vegeta, it just parts and goes around him. It can't get in. The Force has absolutely no grip on him. He's not Force dead like some characters we've seen, he's Force alien. And that's exactly why things like Jedi mind tricks or seeing his next move, they just don't work, period. So what does all this internal power actually let him do? Well, for someone like Vegeta, his own body makes almost all of the galaxy's technology totally pointless. He doesn't need tools, he is the weapon. I mean, forget starships. He can fly through the vacuum of space on his own. Worried about blasters? A casual flick of his wrist can unleash an energy blast more powerful than a proton torpedo. And lightsabers, the supposed ultimate weapon, his ki aura acts like a biological shield, so dense he could probably catch the blade with his bare hand. And Vegeta, he is not impressed. Not even a little. When clone troopers start blasting away at him, he just stands there, looks at the laser bolts, and basically calls them toys. This quote just perfectly shows you the insane power gap we're talking about. It's one guy versus an entire galaxy's military, and the military is losing. But, and this is a big but, being a physical god doesn't mean he's completely invincible. He has one critical weakness, and it's something he has never, ever seen before, the pure spiritual poison of the dark side. Okay, so his ki aura can stop a lightsaber, a blaster, probably even a shot from a star destroyer. But what do you do when the attack isn't physical at all? Force lightning isn't just, electricity. It's described as a mystical poison. It's designed specifically to bypass physical defenses and go straight for your soul. And this is the exact moment Vegeta realizes, oh, I'm not totally untouchable here. Count Dooku hits him with force lightning, and it actually hurts. It gets right past his defenses. And in the most Vegeta way possible, his reaction isn't fear. It's this grudging respect. Finally, he's thinking, someone here might actually be worth my time.
So this creates a really interesting tactical problem, right? Vegeta's whole deal is overwhelming physical force. Punch harder, blast bigger. So how do you fight an enemy you can't punch? How do you block an attack that's aimed right at your spirit?
Well, the answer isn't some new technique he has to learn. It's a discipline he's had his whole life. He has to consciously build what's called a mental fortress. He has to use his insane Saiyan willpower as a shield for his mind. He can't block the dark side with energy, so he's going to have to block it with pure, uncut, unyielding pride.
All right, now we get to the moment where the power scale of the entire Star Wars galaxy doesn't just get bent, it gets shattered into a million pieces.
The Super Saiyan transformation. Look, this isn't just a simple power-up. We're talking about a 50 times multiplier on his base power. 50. The energy that's released is apparently like a small star going nova. This changes the entire game. And this quote right here just nails it. It shows exactly why the Jedi's biggest ace in the hole, seeing the future, becomes totally useless. I mean, sure, you can know exactly where the punch is going to land, but who cares if that punch is so powerful it vaporizes the entire city block you're standing on?
It just proves that at a certain point, raw power, pure speed, and destructive force, they make strategy completely irrelevant. Seeing what's coming doesn't matter if you can't possibly react in time to survive it. At this level, Vegeta is literally moving faster than destiny.
So he's broken the power scale, he's messed with the galaxy's whole metaphysical system. What does this actually mean for the Clone Wars and the fate of the galaxy? Essentially, Vegeta becomes the ultimate wild card. For the Jedi, he's this incredibly powerful asset that they have absolutely no way of controlling. For someone like Darth Sidious, he's a new piece on the chessboard, a weapon you can maybe aim, but you can never, ever wield. And for Vegeta, this whole galactic war is just his personal combat simulator. He's just looking for a good fight. So all those careful, meticulous plans from both the Jedi and the Sith, they're completely thrown into chaos. And so, in the end, we're left with this one massive question. The whole Star Wars story is about destiny, right? The will of the Force guiding everything to a certain conclusion. But now you have this one being, unbound by that destiny, whose will is absolutely 100% his own. It makes you wonder, in a galaxy that's supposedly all mapped out, how much can one single sovereign will truly change everything?